Welcome to Metaphysical Soul Speak. I'm your host, Alanna Fox Starks. Happy New Year, guys! 2020. New year, new decade, new you. New life, new dimensions. Woo! I'm so excited. I had such an incredible New Year's, guys. I hope that you did too. I have recorded the introduction to this particular episode over the course of 3 days now, like 5 times. I think I finally got the audio resolved. We'll see. I recorded this earlier today for 42 minutes. I did a test run. Everything was good. And then I recorded 42 minutes and everything was really bad. Hopefully, though, I have fixed the issue. Oh my goodness gracious. I had 11th dimensional beings in my room the other night after I had finished my episode and I had published it and everything, and suddenly they were here and they just said, "We're from the Pleiades. We're here to take all the stuff out of your mental body that stops you from hearing other dimensions." And it was like a stop. And I guess they're going to do this for all of us, maybe. Anyway, I said, okay, explain how you do this. They're like, well, it's like a giant lint roller. It's like we're taking cat hair off your outfit, but instead we're taking blocks out of your mental body. And I'm like, all right, cool. That's fine. Well, that was like on the 30th, and then on the 31st, like nothing was working. None of my equipment was working. I was so excited about getting everybody's readings done. I was able to get one reading done, recording it, sent it away. Everything was fine. I think it was fine. And Monday's audio was bad too. I don't know what's going on. People have been visiting me from other dimensions, and suddenly all my equipment's going haywire. I recorded an hour for a client, and when I went to send it to her, I wanted to make sure make sure the audio was good. There was no audio. Recorded another, so I deleted that, started over from scratch, recorded another 30 minutes for her. No audio, and then all of a sudden it disappeared. Shut everything off, restarted everything, redid everything 3 times, and then I started to record again, and again. After 30 minutes, it just disappeared. And then I did another one, and after 28-minute recording, it actually had no audio again. I don't know what the hell is happening, but I've been struggling with this for 4 days. Yesterday I took off. I just said, screw it. I'm going to do nothing. Today I don't feel like doing anything. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. And I didn't lay in my bed, though. I got up early yesterday with my son. We went up to the mountains, had a wonderful, wonderful New Year's. We learned more traditions in Ecuador, here in South America, where we live. You have to eat something sweet at the beginning of the new year. I thought it was specifically cherries, and it could be grapes too. So cherries or grapes. You eat something sweet. The first moments of the new year, you're going to have a sweet year. Then you take $20 out of your purse and put on the ground, and you stamp that. Like you're just holding that money with you, the energy of money. You you stamp it 3 times with your foot. We did that. And my poor $20 bills, I had 2 of them, and 2 of us would stamp them, and then the other 2 of us stamped it, and then they said, here you go, put it back in my purse, completely muddy. I had to take it in, and literally I laundered money as my first act of the new year. I had to rinse it off with water, and I was all careful and delicate because it's paper. But as soon as it dried, it was crisp and fresh, like I just made it myself in the basement. It was weird. I've never had to rinse money off before. And it became surprisingly delicate, and I got a little nervous, but it all turned out okay. So there you go. We got our effigy, and our effigy was 5 feet tall like me, and my son and I got it a day in advance and had a great deal of fun hiding it in different parts of the house. So we'd run into an effigy we thought was a person. He's wearing jeans and a New York Yankees jacket, and we'd be like, oh God, it's just the effigy. And my son had fun holding it out, like putting it in front of the window with the curtains drawn so it looks like the effigy is looking at people, and they kept moving the arm, and we'd look through the other end, and it looked like people were looking up at the effigy, and getting scared, like, oh my God. There was a lot of magic in this. The person who made it was a bruja. She had power, magical powers, and she put in the energy of whatever comes inside, like energetically comes inside this effigy. When it gets burned, it will fully be released, right? It was like a magnetic spell or something. And inside all the effigies that you buy in Ecuador to burn for the new year, they fill the bodies with cardboard and paper and a whole lot of fireworks. So after it's halfway burned down, all of a sudden things go shooting off in every direction, and you're just like, whoa! When that part starts, you have to run away from your effigy as you're running away from your problems. So another tradition I found out is, besides writing down all of the things you want to let go of in the past year, and you put it inside the effigy body right before you light it on fire. We did that, but then my friend's like, well, you gotta beat the hell out of the effigy. You hate it, right? You beat it up. And I'm like, what? She goes like this, and she starts punching and slapping the effigy around. And they put my friends, Patty and Jordan, wrote their problems down and shoved it in. My son did. We all did. Because you can share effigies with people. It's okay. And so we started like stomping on it and punching it and screaming at it and yelling at it, telling it F off, just, it's really rowdy. It's so chaos, but everything is rowdy and complete and utter chaos. And, when midnight strikes, people get out the gasoline, pour it on their effigies, light it afire, and all of your problems and all of your energy you put into it by beating it up, you're like punching all the stuff out of you and into it, and then you light it on fire in addition to the paper. It's like, that was something I didn't know. It's something this is my 4th year in Ecuador doing New Year's, and this is the first time I knew that you had to punch the hell out of the thing. I saw somebody outside last year punching his effigy, and it scared the crap out of me. I almost called the police, and then I realized, it wasn't a person he was punching. I mean, these things look like people. It's so freaky. And I didn't realize that was part of the tradition. I didn't know. So it's like I'm getting bits and pieces as I go on with the years here with this tradition. It's quickly becoming my most favorite holiday because it's so cathartic. You're just like, it's like expressive arts therapy mixed with magic. It's real magic mixed with ritual, mixed with psychodrama, mixed with like all this great and wonderful things that help us get rid of our shadow side. And it's not too late. If you didn't do any magical rituals or writing things down and lighting them on fire or burying it in the earth or, running it underwater till the ink fades away, it's not too late. If you didn't do it, it's not too late. You still do it. It'll still work. It's still effective. It's absolutely incredible. It is an incredible thing. I love it. It's like one of my favorite tasks to do. But my son and I had a really good time. We went up to the mountain. We spent the night. We came home in the afternoon yesterday, and we did some artwork. I wanted to start the new year with some art. I want to do more artwork in this year. I'm thinking about making things are already made, but like painting my own art onto things and then putting energy into it so that it's healing, so that it creates a healing environment for anyone who buys my art. So I've been contemplating it, and I wanted to make coasters. We don't have coasters here, so I'm making coasters for my kid and I painted 3 of them yesterday, and it's his responsibility to paint the other 3. But I'm really excited about this. We're really like getting jazzed about this, and I'm like, if I could do it, if I can make these coasters really beautiful, and, people locally might want to buy them because it's my art, but also it's healing art. I could put a little explanation on the healing art. And I think, it might be a little thing I can do. I already know the store I'm going to sell my things in. And he's already, I already got a shelf for you, babe. As soon as you come in with your stuff, you got a place to sell. I'm like, all right. Might be a nice way to earn extra money during the new year, and also to spread my art and my positive vibes around. So, hey, maybe I could do that. All right. So on the 31st, it was absolutely calm for the Schumann resonance, and it was also the Heart Math Institute one wasn't even working. So I had to skip ahead to read lesson 203 in A Course in Miracles. Excuse me. And then I did that. And then obviously there's no sound of the audio, so you guys didn't get the episode. I had gotten into it. I had recorded like almost 75 minutes before I realized there was no audio to it. And I've been reconfiguring my computer. I've been shutting it off and on all day. I've been working on this now for another 5 hours today. It's like, I don't know what the hell happened. My microphone cord was tied up in a bunch of knots. I think I might have pissed off the duende somehow. I don't know why. I don't know why she was angry, but I told her I loved her, and she's just sitting over here smiling. I think she loves being a little bit of a pain in the arse for me. I'm moving some things. I just realized maybe I should move some stuff I had next to her. I had some pieces of recyclable materials that I was going to start using for my art. Excuse me. That might be what's going on with her. But anyway, my computer sound suddenly out of nowhere wasn't working at all, and I figured out how to fix it. Seriously, guys, I was like, I'm going to have to go buy a new computer, and I have to buy a new phone, or a new phone battery, and if that doesn't work, I have to buy a new phone. I was starting to panic today. I'm like, here's $600 down the drain, but actually, it appears that I fixed it, so we'll see. I'm going to record this, and if it didn't fix, I don't know what I'm going to do. But hopefully, ojalá, as they say here in Spanish land. All right. Schumann Resonance News today from disclosure.news, or disclosurenews.it. Basically, they just said the chart has been blank for 9 hours because they can't get a reading, which means there's some kind of interference. So it's not just me. In fact, I was channeling this giant lion-headed being of my friend for her reading. Turns out she's Lyran from Lyra and from the Vegas star system. And this guy was in my room. This guy, he was a giant man. Huge, like 9 feet tall, enormous arms, muscular, buff. I could see him with my third eye and my higher quantum vision. And he had this massive mane of hair, this massive lion head. It was like really incredible. I was like, whoa. And when he was here, I was having all kinds of problems with my audio. So it was not only the 11th dimensional beings and whatever energy they left, but then this guy. And then I had all these Lyran beings in the room because they wanted to talk to my client. And then her grandmother showed up. I mean, everything was interfering with my equipment. I recorded 90 minutes worth of stuff for her that didn't show up. It literally, no audio, and then all of a sudden the audio would just disappear completely. So that was super unfun. And then I finally had to type it out. That took another hour. I mean, it took me almost 4 hours to do a reading for her. And during this time, when I was doing her reading, she's like, that is really strange because all day long, all of my electronic equipment suddenly worked perfectly. My phone that normally drains a battery suddenly was 100% all day long. I didn't even have to charge it. It was wonderful. I thought, well, maybe whatever's going on with the energy in the cosmos is back, everything's fine. And I'm like, no, dude, I think it's your being because, holy man, he was here, everything's messed up. He's not with you and your stuff is fine. It's like, bring him home. I need to be able to do the show. I'm like, naively going, well, is it me? Is it my energy? Am I just so high vibe now? And it's like, that can't be true, right? Like, other people that I know for a fact are in the high vibrational energies, they're still able to record audio. So I'm like, what is wrong with my equipment? I'm going to have to ask the angels of podcasting or the angels of computer equipment, please help me and make sure everything records fine. Anyway, so there's a darkening for 9 hours and it's still going on at the time of their last report, but it only reached power 14, so Hertz frequency 14 in Italy. And yesterday, the day I didn't record anything, power 25 for the day. So it wasn't a lot of stuff going on in Italy, but heartmath.org is always super fun. I love this website. Let's see here. Super funny that it was all queued up and suddenly I had to re-queue it up. It's like, what? Oh yeah, I had to shut off my computer. That's right. So 2 cities are at absolute zero, flatlining for days now, and both of those cities are Hofu, Saudi Arabia, and Northland, New Zealand. They literally had like zero energy, no Hertz frequency at all in the Schumann resonance. I don't know if that means there's no magnetosphere there. I don't know what that means, but that just the science states zero, right? So California, though, had a 42 Hertz frequency at midnight, and they went up to 44 by 5 a.m. And on January 1st, I'm going to check it out, they were at 47, and that was like the highest for the whole day yesterday. They went down to the 30s for a minute, went right back up. So my son and I we came home from our friend's house, and yesterday watched the Rose Parade, the Tournament of Roses Parade from Pasadena, California. It's been a tradition of my family ever since I can remember. Having to sit through that parade as a little kid was really hard. But when I got to be a teenager, I actually saw it in person, and it was incredible. And I told my son, I go, if you would ever want to go, it smells amazing because it's a rose parade. There are roses everywhere, a lot of them from Ecuador. Thank you very much. But like, yeah, we'll fly from Ecuador to Pasadena to smell the Ecuadorian roses sometime. That'll be super fun to see the floats. And it was pretty cool. Rita Moreno was the Grand Marshal. I was really happy to see that. I love her so much. She was excellent in One Day at a Time recently, the past couple of years. And it was picked up for a 3rd season on a different network. I don't know if I'll get to see it because it's not on Netflix anymore, but good for her. I was like, you go, man. I love her. Anyway, so Lithuania was at 89 Hertz frequency at midnight, and by 5 a.m. they were at 88 Hertz frequency. Alberta, Canada started off at 46 Hertz frequency, and they stayed the same all the way across. And then what else? Who else do we have? Oh, yeah, the winner. The big one always is in Hululu, South Africa. But before I tell you for today, I'm going to tell you that on the 30th, on Monday, they went down to 1500 hours, they had gone down to 120 Hertz frequency. And then they start climbing back up steadily. And now Today they start off at midnight at 247 hertz frequency on the Schumann resonance scale. And this is Honolulu, South Africa. They went up to, by 5 a.m., they went up to 299. And it looks like it's still climbing and no signs of stopping. So pretty interesting. I can't tell you exactly what this stuff means because I just can't. I don't know. I mean, I know it does something, though. It's either affected by us or we're affecting it with our thoughts and our emotions. I can't really tell you exactly what's going on, but it's really, really strange. All right, let me see here. Trying to get the A Course in Miracles done and out of the way, and then if we have another 5 minutes, maybe I'll tell you guys something that I wanted to tell you. All right, lesson 203 in A Course in Miracles. The Foundation for Inner Peace website is acim.org. Lesson 203 is, I am not a body. I am free, for I am still as God created me. And the main review today is taken from lesson 183. And this is, I call upon God's name and my own. I call upon God's name and on my own. So the name of God is my deliverance from every thought of evil and of sin, because it is my own as well as his. I call upon God's name and on my own. I am not a body. I am free, for I am still as God created me. So, okay, let's see, I've got to go back over in 70 minutes. Again, trying to record through the Anchor app. I'm at 21 minutes, and it was 21 seconds when I started to say that. So, what else do I have to say? Yeah, we stamped the money, we punched the guy. Stamping the money, it's like you're holding the money under your foot and saying, stay with me this year. I want more, right? And so what's going to happen if you don't do that? It's possible anything can happen with money and it's chaotic. But if you do the chaotic action in the beginning with money held under your foot, it means you're going to keep the money you have and maybe make some more. And the higher the bill, the greater the luck, obviously. And you don't like bury the money. You stamp on it and then wash it off the back of your purse. So it was a cool tradition. It's absolutely chaos when midnight strikes and all those fireworks. Everyone has personal fireworks here. So on every block, you might have 4 or 5 people shooting off these massive, almost Disneyland style fireworks, and they're everywhere. And we had a bunch, and we just lit off fireworks for 2 hours and laughing our butts off and running like with light stuff on fire and then run really fast. And I hopped over the fire 3 times, which is cleansing for your aura. And it offers you good luck in the new year because you're getting rid of all the junk from the new year or from the old years being burned up. So I did that 3 times. And that was the first time in 4 years I did that. So I just got brave enough to do it. And the fire was small enough I could jump over it without hurting the metal rods in my ankle. So I did it. It was really super cool. I did a lot more this year than I ever did before. You know, it was good. I hope that you guys had a really wonderful one. And now it's time to let go of everything in the past decade. That's so last decade. Now we're in 2020. 2, standing for the divine masculine and divine feminine in one number. And there's 2 of them, so you're going to bring your soulmate or your twin flame to you if you're a twin. I'm ready. I'm ready for mine. Emotionally, at least I'm ready. You know, I'm still trying to lose a couple pounds, but hey, it's gonna happen. We're gonna get there. You know, it is what it is. So hopefully this is working. I'm gonna stop this in a moment and see if it is recording, or I'm gonna have to do it again. Hopefully not. I've asked the angels to come and help me, but if they're super high dimensional, I hope their energy doesn't interfere again. But if you guys are having problems, by the way, it started. The Pleiadians we all have a Pleiadian helper if we are if we've ever had a lifetime in the Pleiades at all, or have any DNA that is Pleiadian, because a lot of humans do. In fact, more than 50%, like more like 54% of people on the planet right now are starseeds. That's why we're overpopulated. People are incarnating here like crazy, trying to get a glimpse of what it's like to feel it and energetically go through being physical from the third to the fifth. It's incredible. This is such a rare opportunity and experience, and we're all getting our Pleiadian helpers now, where they're helping us unblock things, and my 11th dimensionals came and lint rolled my mental body. And after all of that, what else? Something else happened. Oh, after all that happened, I asked, before it had happened, I asked God, where's my body as far as being able to pass into the fifth dimension, like to move into it quickly, physically? And the answer was 30%. And after these guys showed up, I asked God, now where am I at? I was at 60%. And I feel my energy raising and raising and raising, even though I'm having cosmic naps today, a couple times already, and runny nose and tinnitus and the Ascension flu symptoms. But then all of a sudden, today I asked, where was I at? 85%. I'm almost there. And you know what? I bet you guys are almost there with me. And if you're not, you're 1 or 2 days behind, no more than that. You're getting ready to physically be able to cross. I mean, our mental bodies, emotional bodies, spiritual bodies, our astral bodies, we're already there in the fifth dimension. We're just waiting for the physical. We're being prepared. We're being prepared, and we are preparing ourselves. And you're not gonna do it by eating just celery and grapefruit, even though I'm eating celery and grapefruit. They're a good detox, but that's not what raises your vibration, honey. It's you that raises your vibration. Connecting to God, following the instructions, opening and purposely expanding, and also opening up to take a little peek of the negative stuff from your past, shining a flashlight on it, facing it head on, and getting it the hell out of your system. Literally. I know you guys have been doing a lot of work this past year, this past decade, in fact. So thank you for that. Thank you for being on the Ascension journey with us, with me. Anyway, I'm going to stop this recording, and when I come back, we have New Year's predictions. We're a couple days late, but you know what? These predictions, you'll see. I have some that were funny that were put throughout many magazines in the 50s and 60s, what they thought the 2000s would be like. And also one of our listeners, Ariel, thank you very much, Ariel, sent in some amazing predictions for this year. And I'll put my 2 cents worth in. So, all right, we're going to do that right after these messages. Be back in a second with New Year's predictions. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's high time you did. It is the absolute easiest way to make a podcast. First of all, it's absolutely free. Second of all, they have creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. You guys have known that I've been doing this for 8 months using the Anchor.fm app right on my cell phone, and I have done it everywhere, right? I have recorded this in my living room, my bedroom, little cafes in Quito, Ecuador, all over Cuenca. It's so absolutely easy to make your podcast, and editing is just a snap. Anchor also will distribute your podcast for you, and it took me about 2.5 months to become syndicated, and now I'm available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more, and so can you. You can make money from your podcast also, and there's no minimum requirement. You get paid from your very first listener. It is everything that you need to make a podcast all in one place. So please, if you are interested in making a podcast of your very own, do not hesitate to start with Anchor. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today.
Metaphysical Soul Speak is run on sponsors and listener support. This means listeners like you. If you are so inclined to support my efforts and my little podcast, please visit me at anchor.fm/metaphysical and pledge an amount of your choosing today. Thank you.
Oh, thank goodness. I went back and checked the audio. Everything's recording. Everything's back to normal-ish. So, thank God. I wanted to start the second season right. Last year, I started on the 2nd of January. I wanted to make that a tradition. And taking the first off, that will become a tradition. And during the second season, I'm going to be taking every weekend off so I have more time with my kid. And also, I need to get some books out. I've got to publish a few things, clean it up, edit it, all that good stuff. But my plan is to get the transcripts from all of the channelings done. So you guys can buy that in book format. Hold it in your hand and have the words with you. And you can take notes that way and put highlights on the parts that you needed to hear. Again, because a lot of the channelings are pretty intense and there's a lot of information and it's hard to keep it, all in your head, especially when I'm channeling. Sometimes I've been channeling 2 or 3 times a week. So I've just got to figure it out. But I might have a few books already done just in the Metaphysical Soul Speak, the transcripts. So that's another plan as I get more into this Metaphysical Soul Speak, the podcast, season 2. All right, guys. So I'm going to go over to, this is the New Year's prediction show. And so I'm going to tell you what Ariel predicted. This is the only person who has sent in any predictions. So we'll see what she has to say, and I'll put in my 2 cents, I guess. She says, here are some random 2020 predictions. Although there are so many timelines, it's hard to see because we keep jumping. You know what? That's right. We keep hopping timelines. And how can we predict anything with any kind of accuracy, right? That was the first surprise when I opened up her letter the other day. I thought, she might got a point there, Ricky. I think this is true. I don't know if you guys caught the I Love Lucy reference. But yeah, we are hopping timelines all the time. We're in 2020 now, and with positive emotions we go up 1, and with negative emotions we go down 1. It's not always cut and dry like that, but if you have a whole day or 2 that's bad, you're going to go down 1 where you energetically fit. If you get high vibrations, you're going to go higher up. So where you fit again. So anyway, she says, and she's very psychic, by the way. She's just newly awakened. 4 months ago was her awakening. And she's like, it's just coming at her fast and furious, all this information. I believe she is a Pleiadian originator. And so she's here to help in a big way, and just woke up. Her husband's still sleeping. He'll wake up soon. Her kids are awake. They don't even need a detox. When kids come and they're star seeds, at this point, they don't need a detox from all the negative stuff from the past because they're already energetically ready for the 5th dimensional jump. Boom. All the babies, all the little itty bitty tots, they're ready to hop. That's what I was told the other day by my higher guidance. So I thought that was pretty neat. So, okay, she says, this is what I've received pretty clearly. And she's got really sharp ability of psychic power. I was really blown away by some of the stuff she's told me, so it's pretty neat. Anyway, she says, first number 1 thing, Trump is going to share a bunch of information about our government secret space program, or he will somehow help in the disclosures. And then she puts in parentheses, I'm not a Trump supporter, just to be clear. She says this might happen via a leak that he does behind the scenes. Well, I could see absolutely that would happen. He's all kinds of leaky. We could just call him Lewis at this point. He's so leaky. There's a nerd anthropologist joke for you. But or maybe was he an archaeologist, anthropologist, or oh my God. See, now I'm just backfiring on myself there. All right. So I know that you go to Cosmic Disclosure as a series on Gaia.com. It's incredible. This is a really good show. I started to watch a few minutes of it the other day. Actually, I watched one episode. It was really good. I wanted my kid to watch it with me, so I haven't gotten back to it yet. But the people in the secret space program, they're coming out going, yeah, I fought wars on this one planet over here, and the Draco over here, they were doing this thing to us, and it was just really hard, and I'm glad to be back on Earth. These are the kinds of stories that are being told. It's like, oh my God. Like all the things we thought might happen in the future has been happening. Of course, they don't tell us. Anyway, her second ventured guest, or psychic ability guest, I think it's from her psychicness. She says, a lot will be revealed in Antarctica. Ruins connected to Atlantis, pyramids, and technology, all hidden under the ice. You know what? I don't even know if she knows this, but on oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank, and I can see the image of it. Tyler, on Tyler's YouTube channel, Secure Team 10. Thank you very much, God. I had to ask God for help there. On Secure Team 10, he actually, some people had sent in some information using Google Earth where they found what looks like spaceships already there, So why was Bill and Hillary Clinton in Antarctica? Why did they go there? It makes no damn sense, does it? Why would they be all the way down there? There's no reason. There was like part of the Bilderbergers went down there, and they were looking at some stuff. So it's very, very possible this stuff is going to be revealed soon. So she says, basically, controlled disclosures will begin and will be used by people on the inside to leak more information. And as this happens, we will catch the government half-truths and distractions, and the general population will end up with a knowing that there is so much we've been lied to about regarding both history and space. This is going to be happening all over the world. I think this is going to happen too. I really kind of feel this is the year for disclosure. Disclosures started happening in 2017, little bits and pieces, and the Air Force now admits when UFOs are near, and so does NASA. But it's like little by little. They haven't come out and said, aliens real, they exist, we've been dealing with them, here's our ships, there's the kinds. They're not going to do that, but the little bits and pieces, drip by drip, All right, the next one she writes is, I also see a lot of chaos in 2020 as millions awaken. Things will get worse before a beautiful breakthrough occurs. It will really be difficult for the awake ones to interact and maintain relationships with loved ones until they figure out what is happening to them. I agree. It's going to be all chaos. Chaos is going to break loose. It's going to be crazy for a while. People are going to be waking up. They're going to think they're cracking up. I bet that if you're a psychologist this year, you're going to get a lot more business than usual. It's going to be like, what's happening to me? Oh my God. I have a feeling it's going to happen like that. But you know what? It's okay. Hopefully they'll start looking up stuff and they'll find this show and they'll find other shows and other YouTube channels that will actually help them. I think that would be incredible. So she says, lastly, in 2020, we will start co-creating our 5D world. publicly and on a large scale, holding large meditations with hundreds of thousands of people, maybe even millions, all visualizing our new world, building structures in our minds, and co-creating a beautiful place. And she says, okay, that's all I have. Well, I think that's true. I have a feeling that is exactly what's going to happen. Building our world. We're starting what I've heard some people call the build out, which didn't really make a lot of sense for me at the time, but I get it, I guess. I mean, it's not like we're going to suddenly have blank canvas and we're going to be building stuff with our minds and nothing of the three-dimensional world will be there ever again. It's not going to happen like that. I feel like it's going to be what we're used to, what we have now, but a little bit better. Like when we hop a timeline, 2% better, 2% better, 2% better. But I think there's a higher octave because when you create something, anything, no matter who you are, when you bring something to yourself or you make something, when you invent something, when you create art, it's a thought form first in your mind. You formulate the thought, and then it comes down in dimension. It gets a little bit more formulated down in dimension and comes the fifth. So I think that everything, all the buildings and structures we live in, I have a feeling are there in the fifth dimension because they were a thought form first. So it's not quite like the seventh dimension where you could think of a blank canvas and suddenly the grass appears. Then you think paved, and now it's paved. And now you think a house, and now there's a house. You think basketball and tennis courts, and there they are. I don't think that happens in the fifth dimension like in the seventh. But I do think it's going to be a wildly different and vast experience compared to what we imagine it is. We can't imagine what we don't know. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's see here. There were predictions made. BestLifeOnline.com has this amazing article. It says 23 hilarious predictions about the year 2020 that are way off. So I think that some of them aren't as way off as this person thinks. Bob Larkin wrote this December 8th, 2019. So this is a really good one. It says, these predictions about the year 2020 are so wrong, it's comical. Well, we'll see. Number one, and this one is hilarious. He is right about that. Human feet will become just one big toe. In a lecture at the Royal College of Surgeons in England in 1911, a surgeon by the name of Richard Clement Lucas made a curious prediction that the useless outer toes will become used less and less so that man might become a one-toed race. Oh my God. I mean, that one was, well, that's just freaking hilarious. That did not, thank you God, happen. You know, I like having 5 toes to paint the toenail of. I think it's fun. Clipping the toenails isn't as fun, but I like that. It's fun. All right, number 2, we will have ape chauffeurs. In 1994, the Rand Corporation, wait a minute, isn't that on that Marvel show? It's like on one or two, like Jerry Rand, Jimmy Rand, Johnny, I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, the Rand Corporation, a global think tank that's contributing to the space program and the development of the internet, they said they expected us to have animal employees by the year 2020. They thought that they would be able to breed intelligent species of animals, such as apes, that would be able to perform manual labor for us. It's like, I don't think it's going to happen. They said you won't have a robot on your broom closet. You're going to have a live-in ape cleaning and all your garden chores. I don't think they would buy it. If we bred them to work for us, it'd still be up to them, and they're not going to want to work for us. They might learn how to drive our cars, kill us, and take over our lives. Maybe it would be more realistic, like what everyone believes robots will do. Maybe apes would do that too. I don't know, but I don't think that's going to happen. Number 3, we'll live in flying houses. Well, you know what? I'm glad someone made that prediction, because it's been one of my dreams to at least live in a floating house, if not a flying house. But inventor, science writer, and futurist Arthur C. Clarke, who co-wrote the screenplay for 2001: A Space Odyssey, believed that the boring old houses of 1966 would be radically different by the time we reach the 21st century, according to Inverse. Now, evidently, he thought the houses of the future would have nothing keeping them on the ground, and they'd be able to move anywhere on Earth on a whim. Now, you know what? I think that's like really, really cool. And they said it wouldn't be just one home they'd be able to relocate without the owner even needing to get out of bed or put on pants. He believed that whole communities could migrate south in the winter or move to new lands whenever they felt the need for a change of scenery. That would be absolutely incredible. Can you imagine? I mean, really, we wouldn't have any cold snaps to worry about. We wouldn't have, a tsunami's coming. Well, I'm going to move out of, this part of Asia. In fact, I might be able to move to Europe for a while. When the tsunami's over, I'll move back to Asia, Or maybe you're in Europe and you'd be like, it's too cold here. I'm moving to Asia for a minute, where it's warmer. And, then we'll move somewhere else later. That's awesome. I would love that. I wonder how that would affect our visa status as immigrants. Would we be immigrants if we're not technically on the ground? I mean, if we had replicators, teleporters, and houses afloat, I don't really think we'd ever need to touch the ground again. All right, next one. Our houses will be cleaned by hoses. Well, okay. In the 1920s through the 50s, this guy who was a science editor, Waldemar Kempfert, he worked for the New York Times, and he said that, he had a lot of opinions about how different the world will be by this time, and he predicted in a 1950 Popular Mechanics article, miracles you'll see in the next 50 years. He thought that you could just turn on the hose to clean your house, to clean everything. Okay, and that everything would be made from waterproof plastic or synthetic, and the water would run down into a drain in the middle of the floor, and then you later just put a rug over it. So you turn on a blast of hot air to dry everything. So even though this is not common, I did know somebody who did this to his house, at least for his bathroom, because he lived in a house and he was in charge of it. He sublet 9 bedrooms to other people, and then the 10th bedroom was for him in this massive house that used to be like a senior care facility or something. Really creepy, like I don't know, it was creepy. He lived in a house like this. It was my next door neighbor, and he made the drain in the bathroom floor, and he built up the tiles so that all the water would drain, and he would literally take a hose out of the garden and he'd hose his whole bathroom down, and it just drained in the center of the floor. And I think he actually turned on a hot air dryer to dry it. There was no windows at all in the bathroom, and it was like a hovel of a place, but he turned on like a blow dryer and the fan. So even though it's not commonplace, I actually know someone who did that. Now, this one's a little awkward. Number 5. This is from Best Life Online, by the way. BestLifeOnline.com. They said, number 5, we'll eat candy made of underwear. Okay, well, they got it a little wrong in Popular Mechanics. The same person predicted that all the food would be delivered in frozen bricks, and cooking is an art in the memory of the minds of old people. Oh, I wish. Wish I could say, I don't know why there's a kitchen in this house. It came with the house. It's an old-fashioned throwback, right? But he said that things would be like created like out of old table linens or rayon underwear, and it could be brought to the chemical factories to be converted into candy. Well, he was partially right, and I'll tell you why. If you've ever perused the aisles at Spencer's Gifts, you know where I'm going, don't you? They do have candy underwear. It's not exactly what he said, but there are underwear that are edible. You could wear with your lover, and I don't even want to go there. But what is it made of anyway? Fruit roll-up? There are edible underwear. So he was kind of partially right in a very bizarre way. Okay, number 6. We'll have personal helicopters. Well, that would have been cool. I do know one person who has a personal helicopter. He has his doctorate of jurisprudence, very intelligent businessman. He's the only one I know, though. I do have a friend who has a private airplane, but I don't know. That would be cool. He thought that in 1951, Popular Mechanics, they thought for sure we'd have one helicopter in every garage by then. That would have been cool. That would have been really cool, but oh well. All right. Now, number 7, this is a really bizarre prediction. This one is the letters C, Q, and X will not be part of the alphabet any longer. That's what they thought in 1900 in the Ladies' Home Journal. The curator of mechanical technology back in 1900 was John Elfreth Watkins Jr. He worked for the Smithsonian Institute, and he had educated guesses about our time. He figured that, well, we would no longer have the letters C, Q, or X in our everyday alphabet. Well, he said they're unnecessary letters. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, anyone named Claude or Clive or, Claudia probably would beg to differ. We do need the letter C. We need the letter C for so many wonderful things. Many of them I can't mention on the show. Now, it wouldn't be the same if I had told you guys I have an husband. You'd be like, what? Are you from Canada? No, ex-husband. You can't spell X or sex without the letter X. Now, the other letter he said was Q, and anyone who's fond of the Next Generation, Star Trek, we can't live in our universe without the Q holding everything together. And people named Quentin and Quinn, they would probably be upset if suddenly we did not have that letter anymore. That's a weird prediction. And plus the person who thought that he worked for the Smithsonian, but he's never been to Quito, Ecuador, or Quetzaltenango, Guatemala. The letter Q is used throughout Central and South America for names of many, many things. So, anyway, he has me scratching my head going, K? Spell Q-U-E. Means what? All right, this one I love. This one, number 8. We will have both telepathy and teleportation. Well, we certainly did in Star Trek. But in the book 2014, Shift 2020, Michael J. O'Farrell predicted that this would be the dawn of the nanomobility era. That's really crazy. He is the founder of the Mobile Institute. He's an expert in technology industry since 1985. And he says, I predict telepathy and teleportation will become possible by the year 2020, with both commonplace by 2040. Well, I am a telepath, and it's very normal for me. I telepath with beings that no one else can see all the time. Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm telepathic. My son and I, we have a good telepathic connection. When I start to worry about him, I don't have to say a word. He'll WhatsApp me right away going, Mom, I'm okay. I felt you worrying about me. He knows. Both my kids know. If I really start to worry about my oldest and I send out those signals, sometimes he's stubborn and he'll take a few days to get back to me, or he'll call his brother, because he doesn't want to admit that he's telepathic with me. But we do have a telepathic connection. It's real. It's there. I telepath with my twin flame. I telepath with my angels. I get messages from God. And when I do that, when I do readings for people, and every single person has come back at me saying, I can't believe you knew about that. I can't believe you heard about that. Oh my God, this stuff is incredible. How did you know that? I'm like, well, God is telling me, So I must have some kind of telepathic ability. I think he was right. I just think that not everybody has it yet. Yeah, but we're waking up one at a time. Let's see. But teleportation, that's a little bit off, but we do have teleportation in the way that in some companies, IBM, they've been able to teleport light, and it's an identical particle of light as what was sent. Delayed it by 2 seconds, so they send it like 2 seconds into the future. They also were able to teleport an apple. I think it came out as applesauce on the other end. So, no thank you. Don't want to teleport yet. I don't, but hey, do me a favor, teleport this potato. I want mashed potatoes tonight. It's on its way, and it's possible that technology exists behind closed doors, and they're still trying to perfect it before they roll it on out to the public. So we got a few more years yet before it's commonplace. Number 9. This one's a really strange one. All roads will become tubes. This is a really strange one. In a 1957 article for Popular Mechanics, the magazine predicted every road and street in America will be replaced by a network of pneumatic tubes, like hamster trails. That's really strange. And the fact that this pneumatically powered, that's inspired by the pneumatically powered tube they had in New York City, where you just pop a message in and it would automatically go to somewhere else, which is really, really weird. I worked in a newspaper, and that was very popular in newspapers. And even in Santa Barbara, in the Santa Barbara News Press, sometimes they would use the old pneumatic tubes that were there. Usually they just send each other emails, though. But for fun, once in a while, they'd send each other pranks or gifts or like pieces of candy. Like I saw someone get a Snickers bar one day. I'm like, that is so freaking cool. It's like, this is for you. You know who you are. You know who sent it. It's just like a cryptic message. It's like, okay, fine. Inter-office romance isn't dead. No. I don't know. I think that's pretty romantic, sending a candy bar. But hey, it was worth the snicker. So that was weird, though. There is now, did Elon Musk start and never get around to finishing like a tube that was going to go between Los Angeles and San Francisco? I reported it this last year, and it was like for 25 minutes or 30 minutes you could get from LA to San Francisco in this tube, and it's supposed to go extremely fast. But I don't think you put your car in it. I think we just stand in it, and it's like a super fast train, but somehow he like abandoned the project, ran out of money, or hopes it still goes on. It's weird. I don't know. I like this one. It hasn't happened yet, but hey. Number 10, nobody will work and everybody will be rich. Yay! In 1966, Time magazine reported that the 21st century will be really awesome economically for everybody. In an essay called The Futurist, they predicted the machines will be producing so much that everyone in the U.S. will, in effect, be independently wealthy. Now, without even lifting a finger, the average non-working family can expect to earn an average salary between $30,000 and $40,000. So, all right, that would be cool. That's in 1966 dollars, though. With inflation in 2020, that would be the equivalent of $300,000 for doing absolutely nothing. Well, you know what? I'm sure we all could use that. It didn't happen. Wah, wah, wah. For most of these, actually. All right, I'm going to take a quick break and come back and do the last half of the prediction show right after this. Okay, so this one is really weird. Mail will be sent via rocket. That's number 11 on the list. I guess that they did send 3,000 letters addressed to political figures from a Navy submarine in 1959, and it was successfully attempted from the USS Barbaro to shore. From a submarine. That's so bizarre. Anyway, President Dwight D. Eisenhower, he received some letters. The nuclear warhead had been taken out, replaced with mail containers, and then the missiles launched towards the Naval Auxiliary Station. And the Postmaster General was so excited. Arthur E. Summerfield was the Postmaster General at the time. He thought that delivering mail via instruments of war would be commonplace by the next century. Mail would be delivered from New York to California or Britain or India or even Australia by guided missiles. We stand on the threshold of rocket mail, he said. Actually, you know what? We did get email, and email, there's a rocketmail.com. I've known people who have that as their email address. Now I know where it comes from. So he was not right. But you know what? He had some ideas that kind of led towards other ideas that we have now. So it's not really a ding, ding, ding. It's not really a womp, womp, womp. It's maybe something a little bit in between. Maybe. All right. Number 12. We will finally make it to Mars. Well, you know what? I don't know. We might already be on Mars. We might even have a base there. We don't know. There's been so many movies made about it. It's very possible, right? It's very, very possible that we have a secret base on Mars. But Wired magazine, in 1997, the authors Peter Schwartz and Peter Layden, they picked up on the years 2020 as a time in which humans will arrive on Mars. Now, as far as the public is concerned, this has never happened, but when you go to Cosmic Disclosure on Gaia and all these people are coming forward saying, I worked on this planet and that planet in the secret space program, and I fought that war besides those beings against the werewolf-like beings. I mean, either those people are all crazy, they've been brainwashed, or it's absolutely real. I don't know if it's real or not, but I don't know. I mean, the official thing is no, we've never been to Mars, and no, we're nowhere close, but we're hoping. But maybe we haven't. I don't know. If we haven't, I mean, we have sent, rovers obviously are there. But my oldest kid wants to be an astronaut, and he wants to be the first transgender in space and the first transgender to land on Mars. I don't want him to go, but when they grow up, they make their own decisions for themselves. I don't want you to go. He's not going to listen to this, but if he does, he knows my opinion on that. They even said specific ideas, though, back in that article. They said 4 astronauts will touch down and beam their images back to 11 billion people sharing in the moment. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of weird. I mean, NASA projects the earliest we'll get a human on the surface of the red planet is 2030, but that's if we're really, really, really lucky. I don't know. Now, this is a really bizarre one. I don't even know what to say about this. Is it a sexist one? It's really like quite possible that this is kind of a sexist one. It's very weird. Number 13, women will all be built like wrestlers. Well, this is written in 1950, so wrestlers in 1950, yeah, maybe, I don't know. Dorothy Rowe, she was a writer for the Associated Press. She reveals shocking predictions, according to Smithsonian Magazine, as to what the 21st century will look like. She had some very strange forecasts, and one where that women would be more than 6 feet tall. Well, I don't know what happened to my genes, but my DNA did not get the memo. I'm only 5 feet tall. And that women would wear a size 11 shoe. And I'm looking at my size 6 feet right now going, well, that's okay. I like my size 6 feet. They're cute. They will have shoulders like a wrestler. I don't know. Muscles like a truck driver. Well, you know, a lot of truck drivers are really in bad shape. So definitely I have muscles like a truck driver. Sorry, Daddy. I know my daddy from Kentucky is not listening, but if he was, I hope. Yeah, he probably has some muscles, but his stomach muscles, from what he told me last time we talked, was that they were being protected by a pretty thick layer of fat. It says that proportions of women will be Amazonian. Well, that's hilarious because, you guys, I have been in the Amazon. I have been on a boat traveling down the Amazon River for 3 whole days. And I met a lot of women that come from the Amazon, and I met tribal people who never left the area ever. They live where thousands of years ago their ancestors lived, and you know what? They're all very little people. They're smaller than me, or maybe they're the same height as me, but they're very thin, they're very beautiful. And they're not at all the Amazon women idea. So it's, that's like, is that even a racist thing? I mean, I've never met a quote-unquote Amazon woman who's 6 feet. I've never met an Amazon man who's 6 feet tall. Most, I've been living in South America for 4 years now. Actually, later this month it'll be 4 years. And no, there's not a lot of super tall people here. Once in a while, you'll meet someone who's part German or part Spanish from Spain, but no, that's very, very weird. But she said it would be thanks to science because of all the vitamins, proteins, and minerals that will produce maximum body efficiency. Yeah, but you still can't outgrow your genes, You can outgrow your genes if you eat too much, but you can't outgrow your, that's GEANS, yes, but GENES, not so much. All right, number 14. This is just hilarious. We will wear antenna hats and disposable socks. All right, no. Okay, in 1939, British Vogue product designer Gilbert Rode, I don't know how he pronounced his name. He was asked what he believed people in the 21st century would be wearing. Of course, Vogue would ask this. He said in 2020, we will have banished buttons, womp, womp, womp. Pockets, collars, and ties, womp, womp. Nope, we all have those. And that men would revolt against shaving, ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding, ding. There's a lot of beardy McBeardsters out there. He said that hats will be an antenna snatching radio out of the ether. That's not quite, and men don't really wear hats as much as they used to. Some very amazing and stylish men, Johnny Depp included, do wear hats, and he wears them well. But most men I know, baseball hats backwards, snapbacks, but I don't see the average man wearing. Every now and again, I'll see a man wearing a hat here, but the famous Panama hats here in Ecuador, mostly are worn by women. The indigenous women wear what we would consider men's hats, but here in Ecuador, they're just hats, men and women can wear them. But it's funny. But we do have an antenna that goes with our cell phones, but he didn't think about that. He says our socks would be disposable, suits would be minus the tie collar and the buttons. So that's just so strange. He said, and so according to bestlifeonline.com, the author says he almost described a modern day hipster living in Brooklyn, but we suspect the antenna hat was pushing it too far. Well, this one's just crazy. In number 15, even baby cradles will be made out of steel. Well, I mean, a lot of things are made out of steel, and not as much as used to be, because the steel industry left the U.S. But Thomas Edison played a role in some of the greatest inventions of all time, from light bulbs to movie cameras, and so he didn't always have all good ideas, obviously, just like every inventor. It's always hit and miss. He said in a 1911 interview for the Miami Metropolis, he predicted that the house of the next century will be furnished from basement to attic with steel. Well, we do have steel rods. We do have steel lightning rods, and rebar is made from steel, isn't it? Maybe it's made from iron. Yeah, maybe he was wrong. Totally. He said that by the end of during the 21st century, babies will be rocked in a steel cradle. Father will sit in a steel chair at a steel dining table. And a mother's boudoir will be sumptuously equipped with steel furnishings. Yeah, no, that didn't happen. I mean, maybe in Star Trek. Is that steel? I think that's aluminum. That's weird. Number 16, we'll be able to vote electronically from home. Well, you know what? That is true. I think we can do that, can't we? E-voting is what they're calling it now. It says e-voting in the 2020 election seems a little bit far-fetched. I kind of remember, well, maybe it's just registering to vote. I think you could register to vote online now. Maybe not. I don't know. I have a memory of doing that, but I know we could do other things by email, but not that. That was in a Wired article from 1997, Schwartz and Layden again. They thought that we would do that, but you have to show your ID. So I don't know. 17, everyone will stop drinking coffee and tea. Wah, wah, wah. Oh, well. Too sad. How bad was that prediction? Nikola Tesla in 1937 predicted within a century, coffee, tea, and tobacco will no longer be in vogue. Tobacco's not in vogue, but coffee and tea... We have more coffee houses than ever, right? The abolition of stimulants will not come about forcibly, he wrote. It'll simply just not be fashionable any longer to poison the system with harmful ingredients. I don't know. I'm always going to drink coffee. Sorry, guys. Or guarana. I like guarana berries. And they're berries, and they have caffeine in them. God knew what he was doing. Number 18, there will be blood banks, but for teeth. Well, you know what? My friend Jude, who's going to be listening to this, he listens to all my shows. I love you, Jude. He's my near twin flame. He was working on an account for a tooth-related industry at his job, and randomly his tooth broke today. How weird is that? And now here, we're talking about teeth again. There will be blood banks for teeth. We have blood banks for blood, life-saving plasma and the like. You could go and donate your blood. They give you juice and a cookie. You go home, feel good about yourself. 52 days later, you can do it all over again. And that will help patients who need emergency blood. But in a 1947 issue of Mechanics Illustrated magazine, journalist Lester David promised in the future we'll have tooth banks. Picture possibilities, he wrote in the story. He says, How about toothpaste? Into the junk pile go your artificial dentures, bridges, plates, partial plates. All men and women, whatever age, will be able to have human teeth embedded inside their gums until the day they die. That's funny, 1947. I wouldn't want someone else's dentures shoved into my mouth, partial plate or whatever. I don't really see that at all. 19. Everyone will become a vegetarian. In 1913, Gustav Bischoff, former president of the American Meat Packers Association, predicted that humans' diets would consist mostly of vegetables as the years went on because of a shortage of meat. As we told the New York Times, even the wealthiest people in the future would be vegetarians. Well, I wish that were the case because it is cheaper and vegetables are healthy, but I think there's always going to be meat eaters, and they just cleared more land and raised more cattle. I think in the future, though, we're not going to eat animals, and I think because of replicators, we'll be able to replicate steaks, and they'll be very close enough where we won't miss steaks so much, and we will no longer have to kill animals for the meat. I think that will be something. I mean, for me, that's what I think is going to happen, but it's not going to happen this year. That's not my prediction for this year. So number 20, eating will no longer be necessary. Well, only for the breatharians who quickly die after they stop eating. This prediction comes just 15 years ago and is made by the futurist and computer scientist Ray Kurzweil. He wrote in 2005, "The singularity is near when humans transcend biology." He says in the 2020s, there will be nanobots capable of entering the bloodstream to feed cells and extract the waste. As a result, they'll render the mode of food consumption as we know it obsolete. Wow, that's like crazy. For only 15 years from now, that's going to happen as we thought. It's not really, I can't imagine that happening at all. Now, I do see nanobots repairing our cells if they're damaged, but I don't think that's going to be a thing. Number 21, we'll have robots as therapists. Well, all right, let's see where this comes from. Robots are typical predictions for the future. Obviously, this is what this person who wrote the article says. And we do have robots now. Global trends expert Ariane Van de Ven. Ariane Van de Ven. That's like a futuristic name. I like it. She says she had bigger ideas for 2020. She explained in the book Shift 2020 that she believed there will be more robots used as therapists, companions, assistants, and even friends to help people in their everyday lives. And this person says no, but you know what? This person who wrote this article does not know something that I know. And I did even do a show and I rated an app. And there's many apps out there now that are AI that can absolutely help you with your stuff. And I used one for a while. I ended up deleting it because it was kind of a circular argument and I got through the issues that I was worried about. So I just deleted it because I could always download it again if I need to. But I learned a lot from it and it did help me. So there are AI that we can talk to online or on apps and they do help. I mean, if you really need a professional, seek a real human being. But the AI, it's good in a pinch and it does work. And there is also companion robots now. There is, I can't even remember the name of it, but every now and again I get information about it. And I don't mean Sophia, which you can get a baby Sophia. And that's a companion robot. There's another one that will take your picture and it will order food for you the minute you walk in the door. It'll tell you the news. It'll tell you the weather before you leave for work, tell you what to wear, how cold is it, what are the predictions. It pretty much reads the internet and relays it to you out loud so you could go about your business of dressing or whatever. And, so it is possible you could count that. So that was a good prediction. Number 22, This one's insane. I don't know what this stupid obsession is with nuclear power, but number 22, vacuums will be nuclear powered. That's just insane. In 1955, Alex Lewitt, former president of the Lewitt Vacuum Company, he predicted the nuclear power vacuum cleaners would become a reality in the future. I don't know. This person, I like what the article writer, he writes, if the choice were between having dirty floors or plugging in a mini Chernobyl waiting to happen, we'd probably stick with the crumbs and the dust bunnies. Yeah, it's like, I mean, take the carpet out and just start brooming it, baby. But we have a Roomba, no one predicted Rosie the robot gonna, sweep our floors. I mean, come on, that was predicted by the Jetsons. Wait a minute. Is that how they said it? Like the Simpsons? I just got that. Number 23. There will be no more need for futurists to predict the future. What? In the 1900s and earlier in the 2000s, many futurists made their predictions as to how 2020 would look. Dave Evans, the chief futurist, it's really hard to say for some reason, for Cisco Visual Networking, actually predicted he'd be out of a job by this time because he forecasted everyone would be able to already predict the future for themselves. I think that is coming. That's a really good prediction. It's not here quite yet, though. He says predicting the future will be commonplace for the average person by 2020. That's what he said in 2012 in Mashable. We're amassing unprecedented amounts of data, new image and video analysis, algorithms, tools will unlock the rich source of data. And we'll have unprecedented insight, cloud-based tools and everything. Will help us to predict the future. I think that we're going to just be straight up, clairvoyant about the future, and we'll be able to see our future. And I think once we hit the fifth dimension, that will become true. So 2020 isn't over yet, and who knows what's going to happen in the next 2-3 months. Our world might change so much that we don't even recognize it. But like Ariel said, we keep hopping timelines so fast that we might be on a timeline in which a certain future exists. We hop onto another timeline and oops, it's gone now. I think that there will be more drone taxis. Right now there's a huge lawsuit for Lyft and in the state of California, Lyft and Uber. Right now they hire people based on being independent contractors, so they don't have to pay them taxes and they don't have to pay for benefits, and the people rather enjoy it because they do this as a second job. And the state of California is trying to force them into hiring them as employees, which means your $30 Lyft just got boosted up to $40 because they got to now pay insurance for everybody. It's kind of ridiculous, but they're in the middle of a lawsuit to try to stop the law from going into effect this month. Hopefully they'll be able to stop it because I rather like the independent contractor thing. I can find my own insurance, thank you very much. And, I don't know. It's just, I'm not an Uber driver. I will never work for that crazy company. Lyft, I love. I love Lyft. They are gay-friendly, LGBTQIA-friendly. They have specials for transportation to and from gay pride parades all over. Lyft is awesome. They're really, really cool. Whereas Uber donated a bunch of money to Trump and they're anti-gay. So, I know where I stand with them. But, I feel like what's going to happen in 2020, I think that we are going to absolutely hop into the fifth dimension. I feel like hundreds of thousands, if not millions and millions of people are going to wake up and it's going to be chaos for a while. I do agree with Ariel on that one. Dogs are going to have one toe each. I'm just kidding. I would never make a weird prediction like that. Their toes are going to melt together by the end of the year. No, hopefully not ever. I think that a lot more people are going to become telepathic with each other this year, and the chaos is going to ensue into late 2021. I do think that President Trump will be impeached all the way. I feel that the House, after their little tantrum of acting like they're going to work together with the White House, I think something's going to happen to Mitch McConnell, where he's going to get caught doing something. He'll get fired. He'll quit. Maybe he'll have to have health issues or something. I don't wish it on him, of course, but something's going to happen to him, or he's going to have a change of heart. Maybe he'll have a dream, and he's going to be like, oh, my God. But maybe we'll pray for Congress and the House to wake up spiritually. If everyone in Washington woke up spiritually, we would have a much better world within 1 year. So hopefully a lot of the waking up is going to happen in Washington. People are having crisis all around the world, and I feel like a lot of new inventions will be in place within the year. People will have invented a lot of things that help put out fires, maybe that suck up the water in flash floods. Singapore? No, Jakarta in Indonesia. Jakarta had a massive flood. We're going to go over tomorrow more of the news of the world. But in Jakarta, they actually have technology that messes with the weather. I don't know why they didn't do it before the flash floods happened and all the things that happened. But now they're seeding the clouds, I guess. Maybe it's more than seeding. I don't know exactly what they're doing. But they're trying to get the rain out of the clouds before the clouds hit the major cities, because they don't want any more damage to be done. So I feel like there's going to be more and more inventions along those lines. I could kind of see that there's going to be an invention of a heater and cooler mix, like a combination somehow. Maybe you'll blow hot air out one end and cold air out the other. Because in India, no one ever had a heater. Ever. They didn't need it. Now they need it. People are really too cold to sleep. It's very uncomfortable for them. People in Australia, they've been having the navies rescuing them out of the water as they had to literally flee their country because of the fires. It's so bad over there. And so I feel like something's going to give, where maybe houses are going to, all around the world, people are going to start coming up with solutions for houses that burn will no longer be able to burn. There might even be sprinkler systems in certain places that have to be. Like the minute heat is sensed, maybe houses will just shove out either sprinklers or chemicals that will put out a fire. That way it won't spread. There's going to be some things invented. Maybe by my words, one of you will invent something, or tell someone who will invent something, and will save a lot of lives. That would be amazing. I don't know about earthquakes, tsunamis. I think that in the future, this year especially, more people are going to start to predict electroquakes and electrovolcanoes. Like when you start to see a lot more electrical activity as far as lightning strikes around an area, you're going to know, look, a tsunami, an earthquake, or a volcano, something's coming. I think that people are going to start turning towards cosmic radiation to predict things like earthquakes. It's already starting to happen. Suspicious Observers, it's his idea. It's not my original idea, but I have a feeling that we're going to be able to have a better prediction system for these things. And I feel like this might be the year, by the end of the year, that the magnetic pole will have shifted. The magnetics of the Earth will flip-flop, and bada boom, bada bing, everything be back to normal. Sunspots will be present on the sun again. The magnetosphere will be fixed, but I think it'll be by the end of the year. Like maybe even December of 2020. So, we'll see. Those are my off the top of my head predictions. I predict I'll buy a house this year. And I predict I'll buy land with, for my spiritual retreat center. And if that's true, you know who you are. Many of you will already be invited. We've already had conversations privately. Well, hopefully it'll work. Thank you so much for joining me for Season 2 of Metaphysical Soul Speak the podcast. I'll be back tomorrow with all unique and original programming, just like always, 5 days a week for the rest of the year. 2020, baby. I'm going to be here giving you fun and interesting and cool information. And hopefully you'll learn something and you'll grow too. Well, that's it. I'm signing off, guys, with peace and joy and the high vibrations of the Holy Fifth Dimension. Until next time, see ya. Peace.